Well, good Wednesday morning to you. Chris Hare here, the world champion crypto cowboy, bringing you another daily update on ICP, just like we've done every day for the past week. ICP cooling off, still cooling off a little bit, but I think we're maybe getting close to some upside. But we're going to break it down all the way from an hourly chart out to a weekly, give you some long-range predictions, figure out where the bottom is. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. But I'm a world champion team roper, world champion rodeo cowboy, and I'm taking the winning strategies that I use right outside this door of the discipline and the strategies that I've used to become a world champion, and I'm bringing them right here to the crypto desk, using those same strategies and discipline, and hopefully making you guys world champion crypto traders. But we'll get on into everything that's going on right now. We'll start off with the crypto fear and greed index, just like we do every single day. Currently sitting at a 26. Yesterday we were at a 31. The pullback scared people. What happens is we start pumping, people get a little optimistic, but as soon as we have any kind of pullback, they get scared and we drop right back down into fear. What I use this for, it measures market sentiment, so it's a good way to kind of figure out your spot purchases. So every time we drop into fear, I make a small spot buy. When we drop into extreme fear, I buy a little more. And then I sell it off when we get up into greed and extreme greed. You can see on our BitUnix exchange, bought $60 worth of Solana and Ethereum back when we were at about a 20. Currently, we're still down on those, 4% on Sol, 0.5% on ETH, but we'll keep up with these, figure out where it's going to go. If you need an exchange to trade on, BitUnix is a great one. You'll find a link to that in my description. I think there's a deposit bonus for your first-time deposits, and you get a little better fees on your trading, so check that out. Moving on to an altcoin season index because it's relevant. We're talking about ICP here. Currently at a 30. Yesterday we were at a 26. What I have noticed is every time we start finding little bottoms, this thing pulls out of Bitcoin season real fast. So I think it may be trying to tell us something. I think it's trying to tell us that maybe there's some kind of run on the horizon, but we'll figure all that out eventually. We'll see where it's going. Moving on to the liquidation heat map, you can see that there's not a lot of liquidity left to the top side. We've kind of wiped it out. This is what market makers use to track your long and short trades. They don't care about TA. They don't care about moving averages. All they care about is where your liquidation points, and their job is to go after them. But currently, you can see everything above price action is a short trade. Everything below price action is a long trade. Cumulatively, $14.3 million to the top side. $4.4 million to the downside. Big imbalance. Maybe we're going to come down here, find a bottom, work out to the top, but we'll get into that in the charts. We'll figure out exactly what's going on. I post these charts in the crypto school. You'll find that link in my description. You'll also have direct access to me. I post signals as the time arises. If we can find some kind of bounce here, there'll probably be a long signal posted about it, and this one may actually take off to the races. But check that out. It's in my description. We'll get on into the charts right here. ICP on the 1 hour. You can see we found a bottom right here around 578. That's a good thing. We've gone up. We've tested the 50 moving average, a 50 simple. That takes 50 of these candles, puts a fluid line on the chart, works as excellent support and resistance. The white line is a smooth moving average. It's a combination of the simple and the exponential, which I don't use. I like the way charts respect it, so that's why I use it. But you can see we came up, we tested those, failed that retest, came back down to this bullish order block. The 200 smooth moving average sits around 559. That takes 200 of these candles, puts a fluid line on the chart, works as support or resistance. And you can see we kind of put in a higher low here, and the little green is showing that we're kind of working up. So what happens here? Well, if we can get above these 50 moving averages, we're going to head up to our 1 hour golden zone somewhere around 830 to 904, then moving on up from 1250 to 1683. If we reject off of this bearish order block, head on down. First stop's going to be your 200 moving average sitting at around 558. If we lose that, 548 to 449 are your next targets. Moving out to the 4 hour, we'll get a better understanding. Looks like we're going to go ahead and reject off of that and head down. That bearish order block kind of tells us that. So what we're looking at is we need to see a retest of this 50 smooth moving average somewhere around $5.60. If we lose that, we're headed into this golden zone, which I think is probably what's going to happen. 547 to 428 would be your targets there. If we can break through that bearish order block, start moving up, get over that 50 simple moving average. 713 to 831 is your next line of defense. $11.70 to 1412 gets you into your extensions. If we cross over that, I think that's where we go. I don't think those are still out of the question, but I think we're going to come down and test this 4 hour golden zone to find that bounce. Moving out to the daily, it's going to agree with what we're talking about there. You can see we topped out here somewhere around 979, 980 on that face melting run. Now we're working our way down. Retested the 200, have failed that retest, so we're moving down. Like I said, 472 to 432. The 50 moving averages are sitting right there. I think that's probably where we bounce and head to the upside. I don't have Fibonacci's drawn on this, so we'll pull them up real quick, and I'll give you some upside targets as well. So what I do to figure out my upside targets is I pull a fib, swing high to swing low, pick up that wick all the way down at $1.81. Then it gives us our targets here. Bounce off those 50 moving averages. 676 to 811 would be your first target. 1477 to 2279 would be your upside targets. Looking at the weekly chart, everything agrees with what we're saying. I think we're coming down to retest into this fair value gap somewhere around 504 to 425. If we lose that, we're headed down to fill out this wick. It's going to get ugly, but we'll see what happens from here. We can bounce, get above these 50 moving averages, head on up. Our next target is 1349 to 1681. Weekly extension sits at 2641 to 3325 with a possibility of going all the way to $53. So that gives you a pretty good understanding, pretty good idea of what's going on ICP. Looks like we've got just a little more downside before we're ready to make a run, but that's expected. Nothing moves in straight line, guys. We've got to cool off just a little bit. But if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like, subscribe, tap that bell notification. You'll get updates as soon as we upload a video. And don't forget to leave us a comment. It helps the YouTube algorithm, and I really enjoy hearing from you guys. But I'm going to wrap this one up. I've got some work to do around the ranch. Got one horse hauling into shoe today, so I've got pretty busy. We'll get back here this evening. We'll throw in that Bitcoin update that we do every single night. And I think there's a couple more coming out throughout the day. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss those. But I'm going to wrap it up here. Get to work. I've got a lot to do today. Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you down the road.